A world that operates in the shadows now finds itself in the 2020 spotlight. Marches like this one drawing support from the progressive wing of the Democratic Party.
For me, it's about just making sure we have the right tools to prevent trafficking, but I generally am of the view that people have dominion over their own bodies.
Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders both say they're open to the idea of making a big change, lifting criminal penalties on anyone who sells sex, pimps who manage those sellers, or people who buy sex. It's called full decriminalization.
Sex work is work.
Last fall, the issue was at the center of an emotional hearing in Washington, D.C., with supporters making their case to lawmakers.
These laws have done enough hurt and harm to last several lifetimes. It's time to bring an end to it.
Others saying it's a bad idea.
But decriminalizing and empowering those who exploit them is a misguided and dangerous policy.
Kayal describes herself as a full-time sex worker, a high-priced escort for the past 5 years.
Sometimes people do it because it's what they can do and what they want to do and what they have to do to make a living.
She says she willingly started when she was 18. She supports full decriminalization.
What would it mean for you if your industry was completely decriminalized?
I think people would have a lot more access to be able to come forward about, things that have happened to them.
Like dangerous situations?
Exactly. Let's say someone has been assaulted while out on a job. Sex work is decriminalized. They feel comfortable. They feel more comfortable talking to law enforcement about that.
Do you want it to be treated like any other job?
I do, yeah.
But not everyone sees things the way Kaya does. Prostitution is often not a choice.
They're targeting people that are vulnerable, right? People that don't have social supports, people that, are maybe struggling with mental illness. Homeless youth are overwhelmingly represented in the sex trade.
Nicki Bell, who got out of what she calls the life 5 years ago, had a difficult time at home and started using drugs as a teen.
At 16, I met an older man that, at the time I thought was like my boyfriend and was falling in love with this guy. And the reality was he was like recruiting me.
Did you feel like you chose to do any of this when you were 16?
No, and as an adult, I didn't either.
She and other critics say the movement for full decriminalization would actually lead to more exploitation.
Buyers will flood the market, and there's never enough willing participants to meet the demand for commercial sex that exists currently, right?
So people will be trafficked, you fear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nicki is pushing for a different version, known as partial decriminalization, where prostitutes would not be prosecuted, but buyers and pimps could still be arrested.
So why would your change make any difference?
Right now, what happens with law enforcement is they go after the low-hanging fruit, right? So buyers are these white men with disposable income that have the ability to fight these cases in court. People in prostitution are arrested and criminalized every day. Why it will make a difference is because it will force law enforcement to go after what is driving all of this, the demand for commercial sex.